What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show. On today, we are talking about media, HBCUs, and Royal Court life. But we're talking about it in a fictional context, which is my bag, is what I do. I'm an author. I'm excited for this interview. I have Miss Stacey L. Holman and Miss Tracee Loran in the building, Queens of the Yard. How are y'all doing today?
We are doing great. Thank you so much, Randall. We are so excited to be on your show.
Listen, I'm excited because I love media. I love HBCUs. HBCUs is the reason why I'm paid, why I'm doing what I do. But also, I believe that Royal Court life deserves a platform, this subculture of HBCU life with these amazing kings, these amazing queens, the achievements, the drama, the all this different stuff going on. Mm-hmm. It deserves a TV show. It deserves a multi-season TV show or streaming show. So we're trying to get Queens on the Yard to do that. So before we get started, I want to just toss to the both of you all, and I want just to have you all talk about Queen of the Yard, what it is, and what you all are trying to achieve.
Okay. Stacey.
Well, this is loosely based on my experience. The fictional version is loosely based. This character, the main character, my experience as an HBCU campus queen. I was Miss Dillard from 92, 93. So shout out to all my Blue Devils and all the folks in Louisiana. So Tracee and I, real story, we were busy pitching another project for TV Land. And the guy was kind of, warm on the idea we were pitching. And he was just like, what else are you working on? So I just started talking about my experience, and Tracee was, chiming in as well. And before you know it, he was like, that is great. And this is like a white guy. Think white executive. That's exactly what he was. And he was like, you guys should totally push that. That's a great idea. So we're like, okay. So this is during the scripted reality, because reality is really scripted, folks. If you don't, spoiler alert, it is. So we were really pushing a reality show. And so we had some lifelines to it, some interest, and some things just fell through, but some things we just trusted our gut and was just like, yeah, we're not going to sell our idea out for just pennies and lose our vision. So we held on to it, and then it morphed into a scripted version. And that's where we are today. So, what makes a good story but real life?
That's right. That's right. I mean, and we're excited that we decided to hold on to it, because we did have two opportunities, and people rarely get one opportunity to sell something. So the fact that we had two opportunities to sell it as a scripted series let us say, you know what, we got something here. We're gonna hold on to this baby and make it more popping. So we think that as a scripted series, it has a lot more legs to it. Sure.
Hey, I can already tell. And when you said, imagine a white executive, I had an executive in my mind. I was like, okay, yeah, I already got someone that looks like an executive. So I can definitely see the vision. And the thing about HBCU life and what I've noticed just in navigating through this space is that with HBCUs, it's a culture, right? So HBCU culture is monolithic in this way, but it's subculture, it's Greek life, it's band culture, it's all these other different subsets of HBCU culture. Of course, you have sports culture that when Dion was in the space, a lot of folks were now interested in that subculture. But the thing that always has really frustrated me in a way is student leadership has never been talked about or promoted as a part of that subculture, when students are the reason why this thing goes round. And student leadership itself has an intrinsic drama and intrinsic, motivations, political maneuvering, because it is politics within itself. So that's why I was really excited to hear about the crowdfunding campaign and hear about the concept. So I want to just dive into just like the concept. You talk about just like the ideation and getting the opportunity. So let's talk about the concept of the show.
Okay, so we're looking at it through the eyes of Morgan Mitchell, Stacey Holman, maybe. Since it's loosely based on Stacey's life. So loosely, very tightly, but loosely based on Stacey's life. And Morgan Mitchell is a young lady who's grown up in basically a white world. White schools, white boyfriend, white glee club, dance, everything white. And so everybody has that uncle who's just like super black power. So she has that uncle, and he's been whispering in her ear, like, listen, you need to know about your people. Girl don't even know the Black national anthem. This is tragic. So she tells her parents, you know what? I want to learn about my people and I want to go to an HBCU. And her father is like, hell no. You ain't finna go to no black school. But she's like, no, I am determined to go. So it's told through her eyes. She goes to this HBCU, which we're calling Revel University. Yes, it's not a real school, but it's named after a real person, Hiram Revels, who was the first senator first black senator. And so she decides that she wants to go to the school in Olatoluche, Mississippi. And she goes on this journey and she decides she wants to become queen of the yard.
Olatoluche is not a real place, by the way, folks.
It's not.
So if you're trying to go there, it doesn't exist.
Don't look it up, y'all.
Listen, I would never forget when the Quad was about to premiere. Mm-hmm. And the Quad, you had Georgia A&M University, and BET was so slick because they did like a commercial that seemed as if it was a real school. They were showing students, they were showing like Morehouse, like, yeah, our amazing facilities. And I kid you not, it was like 2016. People were like, how do I apply for Georgia A&M? And I'm like, yo, do y'all know that's not Morehouse? Like, what the world? So, yeah. So people, when this show comes out, they're going to be like, how can I go to Revel University? How do I do they have a football team? Do they do NIL? Like, I'm telling you, like, they're going to be... was that Deion's old school?
Yeah,
they go ask about it. So you definitely need to make sure that is known. So let's talk about the significance of HBCU campus queen culture, because like I talked about, student leadership is a very interesting subset of HBCU life that I don't think is normally talked about. Like, and I always go on this spiel with anybody I talk to about HBCU media about how we have Greek life. We talk about Greek life all the time. You have band like Drumline shifted the culture. You have Stomp the Yard. You have All-American Homecoming. You have all these different shows, even the Quad. And the only time I've seen a campus queen or a Royal Court was in the Quad at the end of the first season during the I Did Not Consent rally. We had the queen that stood with the young women saying that she didn't consent, like in protesting rape culture on campus. That's the only time that I saw a campus queen. Outside of A Different World, like they played on it a little bit, but it didn't really feel authentic to what really was going on, even when I was in school. But it seemed like in general, because there was other levels of SGA life and Royal Court life. So I want to talk to you all about, like, why do you think it's important to showcase HBCU Royal Court culture, especially HBCU queen culture?
Well, let's just start from the beginning. I mean, it's over 100-year tradition. And what magazine, granted, not many magazines are in print, but what magazine for over 70, almost 40 years dedicated their April issue to the HBCU campus queen, Ebony magazine? There are no white magazines that go around talking about the PWIs, the top 10, the Ivies, highlighting. Ebony magazine, every April, all of us, and Randall, I know you were probably one of them, waited for that April issue to see, how them queens look, because honestly, some of our pictures did not look very good. They did not translate very well to print, And I know somebody who picked their HBCU because of the queen and how they looked. So that's the broad view of it. But once we kind of narrow it in, I mean, it is a competition. And as Tracee just compares it to, it is like Squid Games meets Game of Thrones meets Big Brother. You are representing your institution. You're representing a student body, and you have to be that person. And it's such a unique thing because you are a queen for life. You are, whether you're 80 years old or whether you're 28 years old, you are always going to be that representing of your institution. And just all the highs and lows, the friendships that, you kind of lose, but also the friendships that you gain during that process. It's rigorous. It is not cheap. And it is just very unique to the HBCU experience. And because of that, I think, we're honing in, and our goal is to really get it right. And I think we have gotten it right.
And I love that, Randall, that you said, you basically have said what we say in all of our pitch meetings. This has not really been shown on screen, period. Like, yes, there was a little bit in the Quad, a little bit in Different World, but no one has really taken a deep dive into the HBCU campus queen culture yet. No one. And so we feel like it is high time because it is so exciting. I mean, we're doing the podcast version of it now and talking to all of these former queens. and them talking about their experiences. And Stacey knows because she went through some of it too, but talking to them and just to still see the light in their eyes. Some people 10, 20, 30 years later, talking about when they won, and even talking about a direct correlation to what they're doing now. We spoke to, just 2 days ago, we spoke to a prosecutor. She prosecutes cold case crimes, cold case murders. And we asked her, how did becoming Miss Howard prepare you for life? And she said, it gave me the confidence that I have now to go in the courtroom and present in front of all of these people. We spoke to someone who was a former Miss Hampton, who was also the winner of the Challenge season 2. She talked about the confidence that it gave her in her current capacity. So it's not just some silly little pageant. This is really preparing young ladies, and now young men, but we just talking about the ladies. Young ladies for life, knowing how to hold your head up high. So many of our young Black kids, you ask them a question, they hold their head down, they can't answer. It's a big pet peeve for me. But when you participate in things like a pageant, you have to stand on stage, you have to have poise, you have to think on your feet, you have to execute in a way, right? You have to articulate, you have to be succinct. You can't be like, oh no. So all of this stuff prepares you ultimately for what you'll do in life, for job interviews, right? And just how to talk for public speaking. And so we think it's important for so many different reasons, but to give our young Black women the opportunity to see themselves, to see their beauty, and to really know that they're beautiful, right? And it's not just on the outside, but on the inside too. So we think that this is such an important tradition that we want to help highlight.
And it's also all shades too. It's all shades. That's been the biggest thing, just talking to some of these former queens, just how beauty comes in, whether you're light-skinned or you're dark-skinned, it's Black beauty. And I think
brown, black, chocolate black.
And I think that's one thing. Exactly. The rainbow of Black.
The rainbow of Black. Yes.
Listen, like everything you're saying, just it made me just think about how, like, I did for 4 years. I did election consulting, working with campus kings and campus queens and folks that were trying to get in SGA. And you hit on all of those different things that what I wanted to get over to my candidates, which is this is not just to prepare you for winning this position, because you have to have a platform, you have to have a plan, you have to be able to present yourself in a certain way. And those are soft skills that transfer over to the real world. And a lot of HBCU graduates, because we have those soft skills that are developed within student leadership, we go off and we go crazy. Like, look at what Will Pack and Rob Hardy are doing. Look at what Vice President Kamala Harris was doing and did. So like those soft skills transfer over. So I want to talk about Morgan. I want to talk about Morgan Mitchell, because I think that when it comes to the TV, my favorite shows are always sort of like the strategic shows. I mean, of course, I like action. My favorite show probably ever is like 24. Okay, I like Power. All right, but I'm sort of tired of like drug shows with Black folks. I'm like, can we do something? I like Alex Cross right now. Cross on Prime Video. That's my show right now. I want more shows like that where it's like, hey, political maneuvering. Hey, can this person outthink this person? And I think within Royal Court life, there's that element of it, right? So I want to know with Morgan Mitchell, like, just I want to know some of the things that she deals with at Revel University.
Well, I mean, what Tracee said, Morgan is coming from a predominantly white space. She was part of the white Glee team. Like Tracee said, she has a white boyfriend. I mean, and her parents, like many Black parents, feel like they're trying to assist their kids and help their kids by placing them in these environments. So when she becomes into that Black utopia, she don't really know not the Star Spangled Banner. She thinks lift every voice and sing. She's singing the Star Spangled Banner with lift every voice and sing. She doesn't know that. So she is that's the first challenge, is really understanding the culture, the Black culture, the HBCU culture. So that's hurdle number one. She is truly an outsider, an outlier because of all of this. She doesn't even really know who Zora Neale Hurston is. So she is really at every front, whether she's competing. So there's a Queen's Court. Exactly. And you know what? The truth is there are some of our people that do not. So our goal is to educate them on this show. But in order to, the vision is for it to be, it's a 4-season series. And each year our girls are competing for Miss Freshman. So I don't know if you're Miss Freshman, Miss Sophomore, Miss Junior, then eventually Miss Revel. So she's strategizing, not just on the social front, she's strategizing, figuring out on an educational front. Like, she doesn't know who some of these figures are. And then on another social front, she doesn't even know how to do the waddle. And there's instructions to do the waddle. So, so she is just struggling on so many levels. And, we really are just want to be, authentic and just really real with that, because she just doesn't understand. I know Tracee will add more, because Tracee wrote the brilliant pilot to it. So,
well, the waddle, I'm sure it's a fantastic dance, but I think you meant the wobble.
Oh, wait. Oh, I thought you were talking about like a fictional dance, like, because the wobble.
No,
you might
like
need to hit up Vic and say, listen, Vic, listen, we want to use you on the show.
That is
loosely based. Loosely based.
The waddle. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna introduce that bad boy. Stacey and I, well, first of all, you can tell we've been friends for a long time, because we can say whatever to each other. Wait, you know what? We'll tell you about a sidebar later. It's a funny Chicago Bears story. But so she is not in this alone. She has some stiff competition. So she has Ivy. Ivy is this rich Southern belle. She's like from 3 generations of Miss Revels. Her grandmother, who was the first indigenous Miss Revel, her mother, they were both Miss Revel. So she is supposed to win. She's dealing with a lot of pressure. Then you got Tashira. This is our baddie on a budget. She grew up in Chicago, my hometown, in foster care. And all Sister Girl did to keep herself going in that foster care was to dream about being Miss Revel. She had an old vintage copy of Ebony magazine, and all she did was dream about, one day I'm going to become Miss Revel. So she's not going to stop. So you're going to have Morgan having to compete with these 2 women and some other people to get that crown. It's not going to be easy. So you're going to have to do what we do anyway in college. It's all about navigating friendships, right? You want something, you want to win, but you also want to be this person's friend, right? But you got to stop your friend from getting what she wants. And so it's going to be a lot of maneuvering and a lot of like strategizing, as you said earlier, and some manipulation. It's probably going to be some dirty business going on. So there's going to be a lot for her to do. Also, understanding the cultural stuff, because she has grown up in this white world. So she's going to have people talk about, well, she don't deserve to be white. She's not even Black. I mean, you know how colorism can be, right? And so she's going to have to deal with that as well. There's a lot. She has a large learning curve. And she's going to be kind of trapped in like a little love triangle too. So,
you gotta have love in it. Love in it. And there's 2 other characters too that are really key. We have Lottie, who is a deaf character. So we want to also be real about it. I think this is wonderful that we're seeing more narrative and storylines with people with disabilities. However, sidebar, she's deaf, but she can hear. And a lot of folks who read the script were like, well, why is she deaf? She can hear. I was like, well, you clearly don't know what deaf is defined as. But she's very sexually fluid. And then we have JoJo. So Lottie's going to be competing as well. Then we have JoJo, who is anti-queen. She is like the Angela Davis of them all. But she gonna throw a wrench in the game too.
Listen, y'all covered every element of it, because there's definitely the anti-establishment candidate that be running for Royal Court saying, you know what, we gonna change the paradigm of what Royal Court culture is. When I get in, we gonna do this. We ain't wearing dresses. We gonna wear jeans. They go crazy. So listen, I love that element of it, and I love the fact that there's the love triangle, because I like stories that really showcase the whole duality of college life. And I think that with a lot of college shows, and I'm almost famous amongst the HBCU community for some of my resistance to some college narratives. Grownish is probably the one I'm the most famous for, because it's like I used to go in on Grownish. But all love Kenya Barris and crew, and shout out to Yara and the cast. They're amazing. But like the thing that I always hated about a lot of shows that are geared towards a college audience and towards a high school audience is that they don't really give it up real. It's almost like they're handling the audience in two ways, with kids clubs, and then also as if the audience isn't really smart enough to understand the duality of what's happening in college, because it's not just one thing. It's not just, oh, what boy or girl am I gonna choose? Oh my God, that's not what it is. Like, there's student leadership, there's academics, there's sorority life. There's so many different elements of it that I think oftentimes these shows don't talk about, or they don't confront it the right way. So I want to transition into this because I think that this show has an amazing opportunity to really showcase HBCU life in the right way. So with HBCU campus queen culture, of course, as you know, you have like the campaign season where it goes crazy, the graphics, you know, the wicked campaign poster. Oh, you're gonna be seeing that in a few months. Like the one with you're gonna be seeing that real soon. Because we just know. But Barbie, we knew we were gonna see that. All right, but you have national patterns like National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame, and then that Royal Court culture of sister queens, mother queens, brother kings, all these different elements of it. So like, what aspects of the show are we going to see throughout the seasons, but especially in season 1?
Well, we think it's really important. First of all, you just raised some really important points. We do want it to be authentic. We want a writer's room that has people who graduated from HBCUs. We want to have people who live that experience, so that it's not just someone. I didn't attend an HBCU. Stacey likes to tease me about that, but I did not attend an HBCU. And so I don't want a bunch of me's in the room, right? I want a lot of people who can really speak to what happened. So that's number one. HBCUs, as you know, Randall, have a rich history in political stuff, right? Protests. It's been like the epicenter for politics, right? For the movement. So we want to see some of that in there. We want to see some of the issues that, hey, the water ain't working in the dorm room. We know that certain schools have had that situation. There might be some bugs, some little rodents.
Registration.
Yes.
They got 90-year-old folks trying to register folks, and you not got your pale, you know, that's real for HBCUs.
Yeah. We want to see, because when you're dealing with college, we're all coming from different backgrounds, right? We don't have everyone coming from, you know, just charmed life. We also don't have everybody coming from, you know, foster care. There's so many things in the middle. So we want to see all the different socioeconomic backgrounds. We want to see political differences. Everybody didn't vote for Barack Obama or Kamala Harris, right? You know, so we want to see all of the different shades in terms of your politics, your ideology, where you come from, how you're thinking. We want to see all of that. We want to see all of that in this show. We want it to be as authentic as we possibly can make it. That's important to us.
I love it. Listen, I got to ask this too, because like when I was looking over just the document and looking over just the articles and all the different stuff, I'm like, I wonder, are we going to see some campus kings up in there? Is that the love triangle? Because these campus kings, they be trying to get their swerve on. All right, they get that crown and they like, hey, what's up? You know, so the campus kings be in the story of a lot of different campus queens sometimes. I gotta be honest. And then also for me, okay, I did consulting. Okay, I did consulting for Royal Court members. Okay, but let's not get it twisted. Okay, I was in SGA. All right, we'll try to figure out how are we gonna bring all these different rappers to campus? Like, how are we gonna address this? We in the student center and we talk about the Senate meeting. You would think we on CNN. It's the spin room. We out there, we getting upset. I don't know how they passed that legislation. I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna do this. We should have filibustered. Like, so listen, do we see that element of things, you know, in the show? Because that would make me really happy. Because folks need to see what we got going on. Okay.
We do. I mean, you can't, you know, the campus queen is the umbrella of the story, but we are going to have every element, because yes, SGA is a part of it. SGA is essential because SGA is helping to plan homecoming. SGA is helping to plan coronation. So in fact, we have one character by the name of Randall, who yes, we do. Yes, Randall, you are in our series. You are in our series. And he, you know, he wanted to be the first Black president, but then, you know, Obama took that So, he's trying to be the first or something, but, dressing for success in his not quite bespoke suits. But, he will definitely, we'll see him holding some office and trying to, run the yard on his side. So again, as the season develops, as for the kings, we definitely will show some love to the kings. We just got to get our queens in there. And then we can, drop some of the kings. Because we've talked to one where they have drama as well. I mean, I'm like grabbing popcorn, like, really? Oh my gosh. It is like, dang. So if folks will do things, as you know, Randall, just, by any means necessary to wear that crown.
Yes. But then when people understand the importance of the crown, then you see it. You're like, okay, I see why they're doing all that. I mean, it literally follows you for life. Stacey can tell you that. Like, people still call her Miss Dillard. The people that we've spoken to on our podcast so far have told us people still call them Miss Howard or Miss Hampton, and it's just like, huh? Right? So it's a serious thing. So you're gonna see everything. You're gonna see everything, Randall. You're gonna see yourself, Randall. Okay,
Randall, you got some drama too. Just so you know, you got some serious drama, Randall. It's like,
Lord.
Randall.
Listen, y'all have to listen, because the Randall in fictional life. Okay, can we talk about it? Because from Recess to other genres of fiction, because Randall in Recess was a snitch. I'm like, I'm sitting back and I'm learning about me, and I'm like, why Randall gotta be a snitch?
You're not a snitch. You're not gonna be a snitch. You're gonna be something else, but you're not a snitch.
Listen, at the very least, we got to change the perception a little bit. All right, because Randall's ain't perfect. All right, this Randall will tell you that. All right, the Randall got the story to tell. So listen, the Randall listen, I'm already knowing that Randall got some stuff going on, especially in the NSGA. So I'm super excited to see what Randall got going on. I'm very excited about that.
We got some stuff going on. He does.
I'm already know. I've got stuff going on too.
Randall becomes besties with Tashira. I can tell you that much. Randy becomes Tashira's like the only person that she can trust. So you know what happens.
So Randall, you're trustworthy, Randall. You're very trustworthy. Right.
Why does it sound like my real life?
Well, after season 1, we're gonna have to call you back. We're gonna have to see how much of Randall is really Randall. That's what we're gonna because that's about that.
Cause that's not very similar to me. Oh my God, that's not very similar to me. But listen, I love it. But this probably gonna be my favorite part of the show, because we're gonna talk about business. Okay, we're gonna talk about the media business, because for me, when I look at media and look at just the stratified landscape of media, I look at it two different ways. I look at it in a way that where it's good, because there's a lot of projects that I believe would not have gotten on the traditional TV system with broadcast and cable. Like you have ABC, NBC, CBS, right? Some of these shows, like I don't know if Cross would be on Fox. I don't know if Cross would be on NBC. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that BET maybe, but BET sort of switched, and then Cross is sort of like a grittier show. Like there are some shows that maybe like even 10 years ago would not be where they are. But now, because of streaming, you have different options to go and shop projects to. But it also becomes like bad because the landscape is so stratified, and you have audiences that are so split, and then you have a younger audience that they consume their content on their phones. They're on TikTok. They're on social media, short attention span. So can we really grab this college freshman? Or can we really grab this college senior and get them to really watch this show with everything they have going on? So I want to talk about the business element of it for you all, because you all have been in the business making things happen. So what is your dream outcome for Queen on the Yard? Because you said you want to have a 4-season show. I think that's brilliant, because that covers college life. So, but like, what is the vision of the show, from not just the storyline aspect, but for the show in general? Is it apparel? Of course, the podcast is already going on. Like, what is the broader vision of the show?
Well, we're definitely looking at it as the Queen of the Yard universe. Like Power has a universe, we have a Queen of the Yard universe. And so, yes, it's the podcast, it's the show, but we talking about books, gear, of course. Like we really, because it is a tradition that's over 100 years old, it deserves this. Like it deserves big. Like we were thinking small before because it was just it was just the docuseries, right? But we have so expanded our vision for this series. And even doing the crowdfunding campaign, obviously, we want to raise money to do the short film because it's all about what our concept is. Our vision is for this show. We want people to see the realness. And we think the only way we can do that is by doing this short film. But also, it's to get people invested early. Get people say, you know what? I invested in that series. I want to see this through. And so it's important, as you said, people have short attention spans, whether they're in freshmen in high school or whether they're 50 or 60 or 70. People are so inundated with stuff now. So we know that we have to have a series that's straight out the gate, like Alex Cross taught everybody, right? I watched it. I streamed the whole thing. I sat down in 2 days. So we want people to consume Queen of the Yard like that. We want people to be on it on social media. We have things that we're going to do, right, to keep people engaged on social media. So the show is not just a series that comes on once a week, but you're engaged every day on social. And that's really the way to do it, we believe. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So I got to ask this too. So I'm going to help out the real life campus queens with this question. Okay. I'm helping out because a lot of these queens, they be wanting opportunities. Okay. They want opportunities. They want to get in the industry. They want to be on TV. They want to be radio hosts and podcast stuff. Now a lot of campus queens become teachers. Okay. That's one thing I know. Okay. They be the best teachers, but a lot of them don't want to be teachers no more. Okay. They want to
ready to get out the classroom. They
ready to get in Black Hollywood. They're ready to go to Atlanta. They ain't talking about Hollywood. They want to go to Atlanta. Okay. So like, is there going to be some opportunities for like the campus queens maybe to pop up? Maybe when it's coronation, you got some real campus queens of that year that just pop up and they there. Like there's opportunities for some campus queens on screen, even maybe behind the screen. Like, is there any opportunities for current campus queens?
The universe of Queen of the Yard is not just in front of the camera, it's behind the scenes as well. And we want to make it inclusive to everybody. That's one reason we're doing the podcast where we're interviewing former queens, and next year we're going to be interviewing queens who are actually in the process of or candidates to be, queen. So yes, ladies, clean up that tiara. We definitely want to have those walk-ons, those little cameos and stuff like that, because we want to make sure that everybody just gets their shine, that gets their flowers, because it is work. And I think we definitely want to make it a universe where it's really just Black joy on so many fronts, Black beauty, and honoring and recognizing those who have served their institution. So yes, queens, we see you, reach out to us, but first you got to donate to us. First, you got to put some money in the bank. First, you got to go to crowdfunder and tell your friends and your court to put some money in it so we can get it, the sizzle made, the proof of concept, and then take it to those white executives so they can say yes.
Well, and on that point, we added something. We think we have a student council section on our crowdfunder page. So this is for students only. We kind of want to have like a competition with HBCUs. If you guys can get us, first of all, we reach our goal, number one, but whichever HBCU represents the most, raises the most money, we're going to do the screening on your quad or your yard. And we're going to do a podcast interview from your school with your current queen. So that's what we're talking about. We want everybody to be involved in it.
Hampton doesn't. What did Desiree say? Hampton, they have a lakefront. They have a waterfront.
So
waterfront.
Fancy.
They have a waterfront. I was
so
like,
fancy.
You call it a yard. You call it. She's like, we call it waterfront. Like,
the waterfront.
That is
so fancy. And fancy is a synonym. We're writers for bougie. Okay, that's very bougie.
Bougie Black baby.
That's very bougie. That's very God. That's bougie.
Embrace your bougie.
Listen, look, bad and bougie. Tell you at this point, that was very. We have a lake. We don't have a quad. We have a historic lakefront. That's crazy. Yeah. All right, so I had to ask just so like the queens can know, that I asked, and then on top of that, you have a lot of queens. I'll talk to so many different queens. When it's time to run for Miss whatever other university, they raise money. You think that they about to run for president? Okay, they should have been on Vice President Harris's campaign. We might have won it. They won. They would have got extra million. Like I be raising money. Like I'm like, Randall, I need help with the platform. I need help with the graphics, but the money, I already got $1 million saved up. It's all right. Like, I've been saving up all my life, So like, listen, so they got some money to donate to this car. They might have 35,000. You wake up, who donated this? Miss Fort Valley. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fort Valley gonna get the screening.
From your lips to God's ears to their ears to their pocketbook.
Wait, you went to where did you go?
I went to Fort Valley. Fort Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that sweatshirt. I like that. That's
me too. That's dope.
It's got like some raisin. Okay.
Yeah, listen, got it during homecoming. Listen, they looked at me like, they were like, you got a lot of stuff, don't you? Yup. So I don't know when I'm gonna be back. I'm busy. Like I don't got time to wait on the shipping. Like what do you mean? And I gotta pay extra. Like, no, we gonna pay right here. What do you mean? So yeah, like gotta make sure we got the drip. All right.
But how many students do y'all have in your campus?
So for Fort Valley, we have about 2,600. I think around 2,600, 2,700. We grew. We had 900 freshmen last year. So we had a huge freshman class for us, because for some it's like 900. That's not a lot of people. But we had like
that's $26,000 right there. Come on, what we doing? What we doing?
Listen. Come on, Fort Valley. Come on through. Come on.
And then I gotta say this too, real quick. He's talking about Fort Valley. I want to say shout out to Nia Floyd. She's Miss National Black College Alumni Hall of Fame, the first Miss Fort Valley to win that pageant. And Thomas Dortch was a Fort Valley alumnus. Rest in peace to him. So it was a huge occasion. So I'm just saying, Nia might see this, be like, you know what? We're gonna do a fundraiser camp. I am in Miss Hall of Fame, you know what I'm saying? So let's do this, So you never know.
So question, what is the men and women, young men, young women ratio at Fort Valley? Because that's one thing big on HBCUs. I know it was like
that's a really good question. It's huge. But and I think the reason for that, and I was actually talking to someone about this last week. The reason for it is that a lot of Black men aren't going to college because they're looking for alternative ways to make money. So you look at like the early 2000s, and the ratio of men and women was stark. It was like a lot of women and only a few men. But now that number is closing. We're trying to figure out what to do. But a lot of these folks are trying to go get money because they feel like, hey, college is not a viable path for me, because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out and get money. So I'm gonna join the army. I'm gonna do these different things, construction. I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, and I don't need to go to college for that. So it's like the gap is like widening a little bit more. So I don't know the specific number, but I know it's probably pretty wide, because it was wild when I was there, especially within student leadership as well. Like you have young men that are in student leadership, like you're treated like you're a celebrity, because there's not a lot of young men that you see that's carrying themselves a certain way. That's like, hey, like I'm your orientation leader. I'm your campus king. I'm this or that on campus. So it's like wow, I see you. Like all the people that's like, Randall, you doing your thing. I'm proud of you. I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. Like I wasn't really expecting that, because isn't this what I'm supposed to do? Because if I'm tall as a man, ain't this what I'm supposed to do? Like I'm getting a pat on the back for getting good grades. Like, okay, been pat on the back for going to the student center. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one thing we want to do. Oh, go ahead, Lauren.
No, I was just gonna say, Randall, so what you're trying to tell us is you were the man on campus and you got some tea for us.
Well, yeah.
Hair. Randall, you have hair. I was. Listen, and I was writing it too. So I mean, I'm just saying, I do, because it was a lot. It was a lot. Like, listen, people think, oh, cause I tell my brother all the time, he's in high school. I tell my brother all the time, like, listen, you talk about high school drama, and that's like that's like junior varsity to me. I'm in the NFL, like I'm in the NBA. Like this ain't like you talk about this person did this. I'm like, well, how about this? Did this person use their sorority stuff to get this person to do? Come on, it's different. It's different. You know what I'm saying? So like this is why I'm excited for this series, because that needs to be shown
because political maneuvering is not exclusive to politics or government. It's not.
No.
It's politics in everything that we do. And then the first time you see it is on your HBCU campus normally. Because if you talk to Vice President Kamala Harris, and you all have, I haven't, you all have. Like, she'll probably tell you, oh, when I was at Howard, when I was on student council, oh yeah, it was a lot of different stuff. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There was a lot of coalition building. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of it was a lot of different stuff. You know, so like I like that y'all are doing that. And one of the big things that I want to ask you about next, before we wrap up the interview, is sort of how we can get people to see it. Like, because y'all gonna get the money. That's happening. Y'all gonna get the money. Okay. But now I got to think about, okay, so are we going to do this on broadcast? Because I'm watching the NFL, and tell me why Fox has a new show every week. They're like, hey, this new show popping up every week, okay? And then you got NBC with the nice graphics during the NFL. We got the Caps Queens on NBC or on Peacock with Bel Air, because Bel Air gone, so look, that's a spot, okay? You're going to replace Bel Air. So, like, I want to know, are we on streaming? Is Cross going to go off, and then they're going to recommend Queen on the Yard? What we doing?
You're prophesying over here. Oh, great. Love it.
So where we going? Where we going?
We will. Well, I will say this, and Tracee can, because she's mastered this world. Even though we're both in industry, she's like this, looking at stats and stuff. But we know that if we're on, broadcast is great. However, broadcast is limited, especially with the narratives that we want to talk about, the issues we want to address. We know that we'll have a greater bandwidth story-wise on a streaming platform, on cable. So we're leaning, that is our goal, to be on a platform there. The dollars, talking about dollars and cents, yes, broadcast does have some nice dollars and cents. We're going to make sure that transfer over to our story, but we just know that we just want to make sure that the stories are authentic, that we are not being just edited, with what we want to talk about, especially a lot of the sensitive political current issues that are, we're dealing with now and will be dealing with soon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very important for it to be on a platform that gives us the type of flexibility that we need, the type of creative space that we need to tell these stories. As Stacey said, we really think, we never thought broadcast for this show. We have other shows that we think would be good on broadcast, but this one needs to be on a streamer or on a cable network. It absolutely has to be. And also because you're not so restrictive in your time either, right? Because if you wanted the pilot to be 59 minutes, it could be 59 minutes. If you wanted it to be 36 minutes, it could be 36 minutes. There's so much flexibility in cable and streaming with the time element of it. So it's just really important for this series to be on one of those platforms. And we can't wait. We think that we are arriving. We have been working with this show for a long time, this concept. And of course, you hit so many pit stops and so much frustration. And so many times we thought, oh yeah, we should sell it. Oh, not. And then thinking, oh, did we make a mistake? Oh, then it's not going anywhere. We feel like right now it is hitting its stride, and it is key to get this series on right now. This is the time to tell the Queen of the Yard and have all the queens on all the yards be able to just come on and join us.
I love it. So what we saying is NBC, not on NBC Network. Y'all too old. Peacock, okay?
Well, they own by the same person. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like, listen, because this how you get them. You'll say, listen, NBC, we see what y'all doing. We appreciate y'all for coming to the table. But here's the trick. Here's the twist. I don't want to be on USA, okay? I don't want to be on NBC. Put me on Peacock. They're gonna be like, oh, they know what they talking about. Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
And then you know what? We just canceled Bel Air, so the Bel Air season 5 money gonna go to y'all. We just canceled Bel Air, so might as well. You know what I'm saying? We got the NBA money. NBA start next year. So what we gonna do? We will like right after LeBron win year 23. We gonna do Queen of the Yard. We gonna recommend it to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like might as well. It's a win for everybody. So, but Paramount, talk line. This is dope. Talk Paramount, okay? Prime Video. Listen, Prime Video trying to do their thing. Okay, get Queen of the Yard. All right, and BET Plus. Oh, they want to start on BET. BET Plus, because you already got College Hill over there. Okay, y'all brought back College Hill. Season 4 gonna be wherever, and then season 3 was just like Xavier University of Louisiana. Okay, so listen, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Listen. Let's do it. We are ready. We know we got a hot property. We already have 2 major production companies that have shown interest. 2 major ones. So we know we got some hot stuff. We know we do. And we are excited to share with everybody. The podcast is dropping December 18th. A former Miss Howard, who's just going to be dropping all kinds of nuggets. And then from there, we're just going to have so many amazing people so you guys can get dived into this universe right away. But what they got to do first, they got to do what?
Donate.
To who? Donate.
The Queen of the Yard, they got to donate. Listen.
Queen of the Yard.
Listen, so before we get out of here, let's talk about the donation. So I want y'all to give us the rundown. Like, what is the goal of the campaign? Of course, we know the goal is to get Queen of the Yard. We're trying to get it on streaming. We're trying to get it on there. But explain the need for just the 35,000 and just what folks need to do to tap in and to support this project.
Well, I'll say sometimes page does not translate very well. What I mean by that is you can have a beautiful deck, you can have a beautiful treatment. And for those who are not in the industry, these are the items that you need to present when you're trying to pitch your idea. People need to see it. And especially as we talked with some people in the suits, even they may not wear the suit, but we know they got some white collars and you know what's underneath that white collar. But we need people to see what the vision is. We need people to get the idea like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Because we have had people say, oh, well, this is like the quad. I was like, no, this is not the quad. Oh, this is like, something. No, this is not something art. As you said earlier, Randall, this is about a world within a world. This is about a universe that not many people know about, not people really understand. So our goal with the 35,000 is to do a proof of concept, 5 minutes, a sizzle, almost like a trailer to show exactly the highlight reel of exactly what people can get, the tone, the feel, the essence of what QT is and the world that we are going to create once we get the series picked up.
Yeah, so sort of like in a vein, you mentioned Bel Air, sort of like what he did, right? Cooper, Chris? What's his first name? I don't know why Chris comes up, but his last name is Cooper. Oh, Morgan.
I called it Wobble, so don't ask me.
Anyway, he created a brilliant short film, and we know it took off like boom. And so we're looking to do the same thing, not to repeat his success, but we recognize the fact that we need to show people what our vision is for this series. So once network execs start getting a hold to it, we don't want them shaping the series. We want to shape the series. We want to shape the series and what our vision is and how we believe it should be. And so it's important for us to get that concept and not just to go out and shoot it with our iPhone either, because we can do that today. We need razzle dazzle. We need something banging. We need a banger, and to get a banger, we need the money. And so that's why.
And I just also want to, I'm sorry, Lauren. I just want to also shout out Christine Swanson, who is an EP. She also went to PWI, but, we got to have our PWIs, her and Tracee, but, she, even before Bel Air, she kept telling us, you guys need to shoot something. Tracee and I have been kicking and screaming, right? Like, so she just did Albany Road with Lynn Whitfield and Renee Elise Goldsberry. So, but yeah, so she's part of our team as well. And she's been like, shoot something.
Yeah, she worked on Homecoming. She worked on All American. Yeah. She worked on
She did the Clark Sisters.
So she's a dope director, and she is down for Queen of the Yard. She's one of our major just supporters, people who are just down for this project, because every time we tell somebody about this, they're like, all right. When we tell the right people about it, they get it. They get it right away.
Yeah.
And we so appreciate you for having us on and for having what's the young lady that wrote the article?
I think was that Renee? I think Renee wrote it. I think it was Renee or Kaya. Yeah.
So just appreciate you guys for putting it out there and just starting to get this conversation going, because it's a dope show. And so we want to say that Randall had us on, and he was one of the ones that made this $35,000 come to light. Yes,
Hey,
that's what we do.
Listen, I'm trying, and I want to say this, but before we go, for all the folks, and listen, the quad, when I tell you, for me, the quad was like, it's one of my favorite shows because I was very involved in the quad because I was determined to get the quad to come to Fort Valley, and I did. I got Jake Allen, I got Miles Stroder, I got Sergio Joakim to come to Fort Valley, and they didn't even go to FAMU, which is crazy. I heard about that like a few months later. I'm like, y'all didn't even go to FAMU. That's crazy. But like, I was so involved in the quad, and I didn't have HBCU Pulse the way it is now because I would have took over. Oh my God, I would have took over if I had like I do now with like clutch points and all different stuff. But the folks that are like, oh, is this like the quad? Send them to me because I'll tell them what Royal Court you saw on the quad. That's up episode 9, season 1. What Royal Court you saw? What SGA president you saw Eva Fletcher mean with the SGA? And and there ain't no SGA president in sight. Like so tell them to talk to me. Is this like the quad? No, it's Queen of the Yard. It's not like the quad. What the world? Yeah. It's not like the quad.
It's just not like the quad. It's like our show. It's like the Queen. It's like Queen of the Yard. And I think the last thing I'll say is it's very important for us to raise this money because it's important for us to tell our narratives. I don't know how many people out there know that so many Black shows that you've watched over the years, the writer's room don't be Black. Okay? 100%. And so it's important for us to shape the narrative. And the way that we shape the narrative is to tell the concept film. And the way the concept film gets made is with all of us crowdfunding to make this thing come to light. It's just really important, I think, to get a show like this on the air and to keep HBCU, the way they're trying to cut money and funding out there for HBCU. And so what A Different World did for HBCUs, A Different World, the enrollment rose exponentially. And in fact, HBCUs had higher enrollment during the time period that A Different World was on than any other schools. That's PW, that's everybody. And it's because of Different World. So we want to do the same thing for HBCUs and for education and first generation Black people, people, first generation college kids, Black college kids that A Different World did. That's what we're looking to do. And the only way we can do that is by getting the show, this concept film done, and then getting the show on the air.
Listen, I love it. We got to make it happen. So make sure to donate. If you listen to this and the campaign is going on, make sure to donate this. If you listen in the future, it's done. Okay, just know it's done. Because they will listen in the future. They're going to be like, oh, I want to donate. No, don't worry about it. Donate your views because it's done.
I like that. Donate your views. I'm going to borrow that. I love that.
The campaign's over with. If you listen to this in the summer, it's over. Show coming soon. Okay, just keep watching. You know what I'm saying?
And then you'll have fun. You'll be like, dang, I could have said I contributed to that show. No, we want you to be able to say, yes, I contributed. I'm the reason why, because you know how we are, right? We gave $5. It's because of me that show is on the air. That's fine. We'll take it.
Yeah. Own it. You can own it.
You are the reason that we're on the air. So all we need to do is put like $15,005 together. We good.
You did the math. Listen. That's the PWI education right there. She did the math, didn't she? She did the math. That's trying to PWI with the accountant. Okay, like
we need North Carolina A&T. We need, family. We just need about 5 of y'all to get together. Donate your $5 to $10. Okay. And then battle it out as to who's gonna come, who's gonna get us to come on campus. That's all we want y'all to do.
Exactly.
Have a good old-fashioned concept.
But we'll come to Fort Valley because of you, Randall. Regardless if y'all raise that, we are coming to Fort Valley.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we need that because sometimes like HBCU it ain't always lit all the time. Don't let TikTok fool you. Okay, it ain't lit all the time. Okay, so screening could change the monotony of sitting back and watching the Queen in the Yard in your dorm room. Okay, break up that monotony at a point. Well, listen, this was an amazing interview. Super excited for Queen on the Yard. Make sure to donate to the crowdfunder, Miss Stacey L. Holman and Miss Tracee Loran. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Okay, this is I'm horrible.
She's horrible, but I'm gonna let her go first.
I'm bad with social media. Just Google. I mean, I can't even tell you my handle. I think is it Black Butterfly SLH or Butterflies SLH? I'm somewhere in there. I it's something like that. Don't even ask me about Black Twitter. I'm Vimeo. I do have a website, blackbutterflyproductions.net. I do know that, but yeah, I just have my social media fast. I've been grieving since the election, just so you know. I've been like, I don't want to read anything. So
she didn't have anything before that, but you can find
I know before that.
Right. I'm on all the socials under Tracee Loran. Oh, and I have to plug my show. I have a series called Black History Baddies that is bad mama jamma. And you got to check it out, Randall. It is so dope. Black History Baddies. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Insta. You can find me on Blue Sky, Black Twitter. And then Queen of the Yard also has all of those socials. We're on all of that with Queen of the Yard. We're just getting our pages started, so it's a little barren, but it's getting good. So find us everywhere, y'all. But most importantly, find us on crowdfunding.com/Queen of the Yard.
Yeah, and before we go, Miss Stacey, I got you. Okay, you can find Stacey L. Loran on Black Butterfly S on Twitter /X and on Instagram at Butterfly SLH. Okay, follow her.
Thank you.
Listen, because we come prepared. Okay, that's where you can find her, and also you have her website as well. She on Vimeo too. Okay, go watch videos. Okay, she on Vimeo too. Go to Black Butterfly Productions. Okay, and you can go. You can find
me there.
Like I just want to let people know so they can know how we can't find. That's where you can find it. All right. Listen, thank you all so much for coming on. Listen, I had to make sure. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. You're listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to hbcupulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.